Hi everyone, I am Ankita Majumdar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to teach you class 7th SST Geography chapter 3rd Our Changing Earth. First part I already explained. Now we will read today second part, that is work of a river. Work of a river. River is the only source to take water to sea or to some big lake. The place where the river originates is known as the source of river. When the river falls down almost vertically from a sufficient height along the course of the river, it forms a waterfall. A river normally flows curved path rather than going straight. As the river enters the plains, it twists and turns, forming large bends. These bends are known as meanders. The word meander is derived from the name of a small winding river, Meanders, in Turkey. Due to continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, the ends of the meander loop come closer and closer. In due course of time, the meander loop cuts off from the river and form a cut-off lake, also called an oxbow lake. At times, the river overflows its banks. This leads to the flooding of the neighbors' areas. As it floods, it deposits layers of fine soil and other materials called sediments along its banks. This leads to the formation of floodplain. The floodplains receive fresh soil every year and are very fertile. The raised banks are called levees. Usually these levees are 1 to 2 meters high, but higher levees have also been observed. As the river approaches the sea, the spread of the falling water decreases and the river begins to break up into a numerous branches. These branches are called distributaries. The river becomes so slow that it begins to deposit its load. Each distributary forms its own mouth. The collection of sediments from all the mouths forms a delta. Next is work of sea waves. Coastal landforms are the result of erosional and depositional work of sea waves. Sea waves continuously strike at the rocks. Cracks develop over time, they become larger and wider. Thus, hollow like caves are formed on the rocks. They are called sea caves. As these cavities become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the caves remain, thus forming sea arches. When the roof of a marine arch collapses, a portion of the arch keeps standing in the sea like a pillar. This is known as stack. Thus, steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above seawater is called sea cliff. The sea waves deposit sediments along the shores, forming beaches. Next topic is work of ice. Glaciers are also known as river of ice, which too erode the landscape by bulldozing soil and stone to expose the soil rock below. Glaciers. Glaciers carve out deep hollows. As the ice melts, they get filled up with water and become beautiful lakes in the mountains. The material carried by the glaciers, such as rock, big and small, sand, and silt, gets deposited. These deposits form glacier moraines. Next topic is work of wind. Have you ever visited a desert? Try to collect some pictures of sand dunes. Work of wind is more prominent in desert areas where soil particles are loose due to lack of moisture and vegetation. In desert, you can see rocks in the shape of a mushroom, commonly called mushroom rocks, which erode the lower section of the rock more than the upper part. Therefore, such rocks have narrow base and wider top. When the wind blows, it lifts and transports sand from one place to another. When it stops blowing, the sand falls and get deposited in low hills like structures. These are called sand dunes. Sand dunes have a tendency to shift their position and migrate in the direction of the wind. When the grains of a sand are very fine and light, the wind can carry it over very long distances. When such sand is deposited in large areas, it is called loess. These loess contains silt, clay, and some sand loess from very fertile soil. The most important loess region in the world is North China. So students, here we have completed chapter 3rd. Next chapter I will explain in my next video, and your homework will be, I will send PDF. On that PDF, diagrams as well as question and answer exercise will be there. You have to write it in your notebook, geography notebook. Make the diagrams neatly. Complete your notes. Write in good handwriting. Okay, do your homework. That's all for today's topic. Thank you, students.